So, welcome back. Thank you for watching. Um, First off, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. I still have my mom in my life, and so I'm grateful for that. And, I'm just blessed to have her here. So, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And let's just get into it. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Jordan, and this is my JLPT study series. So, we have I want to say, about 30 weeks left into the JLPT. So, December 6th, I'm planning on taking the JLPT N2. And for those of you who are returners, thank you again. And I know I recently just got a few new subscribers, so I just want to say I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys subscribing. And yeah, this is, I just wanted to introduce myself to all the new people out there. I think I have like maybe 51. So again, I really appreciate it. I'm really grateful. Um, I'd just be happy to have, one, just share some value to somebody. So yeah, let's get into it. This is week 9, I believe, week 9 of my JLPT study. And I'm also doing the Baki challenge and the Talagu challenge. So that's just a reading challenge. Whew. All right. So far, everything seems pretty good. I'm about 14 volumes into Baki. I'm really close to finishing the 15th one. I try to read about 2 a day. These during the week. I think the weekends I read about 1, so not too many, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm enjoying the process. I will say Baki is getting, I'm trying to go through these next few chapters a little fast, only because one, I've already seen the anime up until this part, so I kind of know what happens. So I'm kind of just kind of trying to, get through that part as fast as possible. So what else? And then I've recently been thinking like maybe I want to kind of get some light novels into the mix. So I know I was like, I don't want to read light novels, but I think I see their advantage, and I not that I don't want to read them, but I feel like sometimes they can be long and intimidating. So I found this, and this is thanks to her name is Jennifer. So she has a website called J Talk Online. I'll link it down below. And she's a translator, and she's been learning Japanese for a while, and I believe she's passed the N1 or at least the N2 for sure. And she gave me some recommendations. She wrote some articles about like beginner light novels, and the one I chose is JJB, so Good Job. That's what I think it's called. And what I like about it is the chapters are about, I'd say, 2 to maybe 10 or so pages. So I'm reading on the Kindle. And it's nice because it's very short and concise. It's not too long. And all it's really about is high school students and their club and like different shenanigans they go through and things like that. So it's not too hard to understand. I really can pick out some words that I wasn't familiar with. So I feel like anything to kind of help and advance my vocabulary is always great. So yeah, think about try to read at least 2 chapters or at minimum a chapter or 1 volume, excuse me, of the manga, and then add the light novel piece as well. So that way it's like, the best of both worlds. And I'm about like 26% through based on the Kindle's, percentage of that light novel. So I was like, well, why not? Why don't I just kind of add this to it? That way it's not too boring. And I feel like, again, once the manga gets past where I've read or where I've seen in the anime, I think will be good, and I'll be ready to just consume more and more of it. So, like I said, I'm on 14, so and it's the 10th today, so I'm definitely ahead of the game by at least 4. So I don't know when, but I kind of want to hopefully soon I get past the part, and then I can like double that. So the way I want it, so if today's the 10th, the way I want it to be is I want to be kind of like, if today's the 10th, I want to be on volume 20. And so like that way, by the time that it ends, because I think I still have a whole nother series, like just like new grappler Baki, the new grappler Baki, and then there's Baki Budo. And so I want to try to read those as well. I don't know if I'll make it, or I don't know if I get burned out. I don't think so. Again, it's all that will be new territory. So I feel that it'll be definitely something interesting to watch. And when I was reading Demon Slayer, once I got past where I was just like, oh wow, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know this was going on, and I was really more invested into that. So yeah, and the Taroku challenge, that's going well. I'm just trying to record all the things that I do in the challenge. So when I do my Anki flashcards, when I read, when I watch some news or read the news, anything, read, even playing games, you can record. And I've seen some people online do that. However, sometimes it's cumbersome because you have to count. If you're playing a game, you have to count the screens, like how many screens you see. So when the text changes, you have to count that. And so I thought about getting like an actual counter, but I was like, I don't know, like that's just a lot. I mean, it would add for sure, and I think it would be fun. But I don't know. I'm trying to just like play the game, have fun more than like I need to record this for a challenge. And again, I don't win anything for it, and I think I don't want to get too wrapped up into it because I feel like my competitive spirit will like want me to just keep boom, and I know that's what kept me going for a while. And so I was like, oh, I feel like I should dial it back and just do consistency and focus more on consistency more than like I got to be the top of the list. So yeah, I think I'm going to take a step back from that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is uh, some of you may or may not know. So his name is Seabolt Speaks. He has a YouTube channel, and he invited me on, and I spoke. So we had like about an hour and a half conversation about Japanese and my studies and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. And I'll link that in below as well. And yeah, I just had a blast talking to him. He's a great guy, fun to talk with, easy to talk with. So I feel like we have a lot in common. We're around the same age, and so um, yeah, he understands like having a full-time job is tough, but although we still have it, we're still on the journey to, be fluent in Japanese. And so I really like can get behind that idea. So again, thank you, Seabolt. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the subscribers that came from that. And yeah, like I said, I'll post the link of that chat in this description if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, or listen to it by all means. And I know I said the last thing, but one more thing. I recently have been starting to plan how I want to tackle the JLPT. So for those of you who may know, I took it last year and I failed by like 7 points. So I think it was the lowest was maybe the grammar. So we had to rearrange certain things. So what I want to talk about is how my plan of attack. So one is vocab. So I definitely need to increase my vocab a ton. So what I've been doing is using subs to SRS to find and Morphman to find I+1 sentences for Anki. So usually I try to use shows that I've already seen. So right now I'm finishing up Demon Slayer. I have about less than 100 cards, and then my next show will be Yakusoku no Neverando, The Promised Neverland. So I'm going through that show and trying to, again, pick out all the words that I don't know. And I feel like that's going to definitely help my Japanese and help my vocabulary acquisition. So I'm doing that. And when I I officially feel like I'm going to start studying for the JLPT in either June or the beginning of July. And so what I have for that, I got some recommendations from two people. So one of them is Steven, excuse me. I think it's like Stevie J. I talked about him last week. So he passed the JLPT and won, and he changed up his style. So he studied the Kanzen Master series. So he did one for grammar and then one for reading comprehension, just to kind of get an idea of how the test went. And so, and then another girl I talked about earlier, Jennifer, or J-Talk, she has that website. She also recommends similar books. So I went on ahead, and since I have Amazon Prime for a little bit, they had like a free trial for like 30 days. And so I'm going to cancel it after the stuff gets here. But what I'm going to do is, so I ordered the Kanzen Master grammar book for N2, and then the reading comprehension. So I know a lot of people like vocab is tough. So I have the Tango books for vocab. So I put that deck on pause. I'm still reviewing that, but I'm not learning anything new. So I stopped that deck. But when I officially go back to studying for the JLPT, I'm going to, switch that up. I'm going to use that deck instead of the deep dives. That way I am, focused more specifically on JLPT stuff. And even some of that JLPT stuff I've learned and I've seen that in my immersion. So I feel like it's not, not too much, not too off from where my level is. So that'll be good. So yeah, so with that, so I have the grammar book, which will help with grammar. I have the reading comprehension, which will give me an idea of how the test will structure. And I have some practice tests that I had from last year. I think I took one of them. So I'm still going to use that. I'm probably going to take that maybe at the beginning to kind of get a baseline of where I'm at. And then I'm going to wait until the end to take the second one. So that'll be definitely just a kind of gauge of like, okay, this is where I am, studied this much, this is where I ended. So I think that'll be a good, indicator of how much I've learned. And then the last thing for grammar, so I know the JLPT has these types of questions where they'll give you a sentence and they'll pull out basically most of the words in the sentence. And then they'll ask you to arrange them in the correct order. And so I know for me, those are really tough. Those are like, oh, wait, this is a lot harder than I think. So I know getting my reading up will help that, seeing more of these patterns. So that's why I kind of added the light novel reading to it, to my reading schedule. And the grammar books, the drill books will also help with that as well. Just like, they're very nice. And once they get in, I'll show them to you and tell you how I feel about them. But I've used some of them in the past. And what's nice is like the sections are very simple. And it's like you study for about 10 minutes. It's like, hey, finish this section in 10 minutes. And you might have 20 questions. And after the 10 minutes, you can review and it'll tell you what's right and what's wrong. And then I can look at the grammar points that I got wrong, or I'm like, I saw all these 4 in the multiple choice and I didn't know any of them. So I can, use the Concept Master Book to study those grammar points, or just look them up online, make 1 or 2, flashcards based on those grammar points, and then keep it moving. So then I'm not bogging myself down too much. I'm not spending too much time solely just on taking the test. So I kind of want to do it in increments. And the grammar book that I'm getting does it in like 10-minute increments. And I can do 1 or 2 a day in the morning before going to work, and then make some sentences and boom, finish those, go off to work, and then studying the tango at the same time. So yeah, that seems to be what my plan of attack will be. And then as I, honestly start studying, it'll probably change. But I think now getting prepared now for the JLPT will help me. I think last year I started studying in October. So I still had some time, but I want to make sure I pass for sure this time. And I know it's, not going to show me, or not going to pass or fail. It's not going to indicate my process. It's not going to say like, oh, hey, because you passed, you're at this level. So I know that. I just feel like, having it for a job, having it for, that way, if my job, if I ever get a chance to go to Japan with my job, I can, it makes it easier. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, so thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Again, I appreciate all support. I appreciate the subscribers. So if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you like the channel. And yeah, that's all I have, everyone. Let me know what you're reading, what you're studying, what you're, immersing with. I think that's important. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about my immersion. The last thing with reading, or with listening, I was watching, it's on Netflix. It's like a gambling anime. I think it's super popular. So I've been watching that because it's fun and I can get Japanese subtitles with it. I also been watching the Digimon. That's on Crunchyroll. That's the reboot. That's good. But I think it's postponed because of the virus and everything going on. So I think it's up to episode maybe 3 or 4. So I've been watching that, and then that's it. I haven't been Tower of God. I watched a new episode of that. That's new stuff. And yeah, that's it for really watching. I haven't been watching too much, but just trying to read as much as I can, because I feel like my listening, I think that was the highest I did on the JLPT test. So I feel like naturally my listening will improve. I know, as long as I continue to listen. So I'm not too worried on that front. But I know reading and vocab and grammar are like my weak areas. So that's why I'm trying to just read as much as I can and just kind of knock this stuff out of the park. So by the time the test comes, yeah, that's all I got. I'll be ready to go. So now that's it, everybody. That's all I got. I know this video is kind of crazy. I'm also trying to get everything prepared for Mother's Day. So when my mom wakes up, everything's good and things like that. Me and my sister got some stuff planned. And so, yeah, everybody have a good one. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace.